Hello, everybody. I am Tabiseng Wajana and I'm a spiritual medium. Thank you for coming back again to the channel. And if you are new, please subscribe. Perhaps you might find something that you like that resonates well with you. We did the previous video where we spoke about relationships and how they should be favoring you. I would like to stick with that sort of undertone or what normally happens in relationships that we do not talk about. I want to specifically talk to men, to males, about the issue of abortion and miscarriages. So, your partner has had a miscarriage, your partner had an abortion. How are you affected or how are you impacted in the spiritual realm? Sometimes it's information that you are privy to, sometimes it is hush hush. Sometimes it's an information that you were party to, sometimes it is information that has been hidden away from you. But the effects of such decisions or the effects of such incidences in the case of a miscarriage will obviously happen to you as a person that was there conceiving the child as well. Now, you must remember that a womb is one dynamic element. It's something that can incubate a person's soul. It can also incubate a person's body by virtue of a baby growing in there. And when somebody is conceived, the soul is implanted, right? So a person would then nurture the soul first before they could, eat right, the cravings and just the normal typical nurturing of that baby. But when there is an abortion or when there is a miscarriage, there is an abrupt stoppage to the life of that baby. There is an abrupt taking out, abrupt interruption to the life of that baby. So this kind of a phenomenon would then have certain effects. It will build a characteristic of the child still because of the soul that intended to come to earth. One, it's either the child will grow bitter and start to think, oh, okay, so I was unwanted by my parents. Because you need to understand that in this creation process, there is nothing that fights for the will to live so much more than a baby. So when that life is cut short, certain things will happen. One, the baby will feel, okay, so I was not wanted and I need to retaliate. Two, the baby might feel, and why I'm saying the baby because I'm speaking about the soul of the child. So they would get to think, okay, so I was abruptly taken out. Where do I go? Because it was my will to live. I wanted to be with my parents. So I might as well just stuck within their aura. Just get stuck within their aura because I do not know where to go. Three, it might be a thing of the child gets to haunt you in your dreams or be with you in your dreams. Not necessarily haunt, because haunt is a negative connotation, right? Then we are sort of tinting the image of the baby, not haunt. I like a better phrase. But the thing is that there will be a manifestation of the child's presence with you. It's either you start to dream of babies, you hear babies crying, or you dream of somebody handing you a baby, but when you touch the baby disappears, or you dream of somebody just giving you babies all the time. You are being given a baby all the time. Sometimes you get to have dreams of you are chasing a baby, then whenever you are starting to come through or get closer to the child, then the child would disappear on the other side of the street. This kind of dreams then get to tell that you are a parent to a soul that did not make it onto earth, and therefore certain things need to be done. I know that women are watching this thing, And the same thing will happen to men and women alike. Not necessarily that these things will happen to men, but I know that in what we do in the healing space, it is much more quicker to help a woman than to help a man, because sometimes, like I indicated earlier, they just do not have this kind of information and do not know what had happened. There is also another dynamic. If you are a man and you were a concerned party to the abortion, some people will invest in the abortion. Now, remember, every time that you are paying for something, so if you come through for a consultation and you pay for a consultation, we are exchanging energy. The equal thing happens when your partner or your wife says, baby, I'm pregnant, what can we do? And we decide, no, it is not the right time for us to have a baby, or we are not ready, or this is not the direction that we wanted to go into. And as a man, you give that woman money to go and have an abortion. So you have invested in the spirit. In the spirit world, you have invested to cut off the child's life, and therefore the child might have certain things, or certain gripes, or certain fights, or certain beef with both of with both of his parents or her parents, to say, but you agreed. So you've invested in the demise of the child's life. In a case of a miscarriage, you also are impacted equally. So the same things would happen. The manifestation of saying there was a baby and now the baby is not there, they will happen to you. So it does not matter. There is no guilt factor in the spirit. The only thing that are there is that there was a child, the life was cut up, that was cut abruptly, and there has to be a ramification, and after that there has to be cleansing and detachment. So most people would then say, no, Gogo, we got cleansing, but you would find Hore, there are still certain things. There's stagnancy, there is depression, and there's another dynamic that will happen. Sometimes the partners do not survive either the abortion or the miscarriage. They decide to break up or decide to divorce or whatever. And this child, when there was no detachment, right, even in the presence of the cleansing, if there was no detachment process, this child will keep on saying, I want my mom, I want my dad, I want my mom and my dad to be together. And that is why sometimes you would feel that there is a person that you are extra connected to. You are always thinking about this person, and you are wondering, is she the one, is he the one? So this kind of repetitive cycle will then make us understand as healers that there could have been a very intense deep soul tie here with a child being conceived. And so this child keeps on throwing, I want my mama, I want my daddy, I want them together. But when you are together, it's fireworks. You are fighting, you don't get along. You could go on lunch and it's a beautiful lunch. You get home and you're starting to fight again, because the spirit of the child has not rested well. And the spirit of the child will make you understand that I have not rested. And therefore, if I do not rest, there is no way that you can rest. So, other things will happen. You are a woman. You've had an abortion. You've had a miscarriage. You are moving on to the next relationship. The next relationship does not make sense. The relationship ends abruptly, so as well, because your womb is now looking in the spirit as if it is a grave. So every time that you are engaging sexually with a certain person, your womb or the baby inside the grave, right, inside your grave, please think spiritually, inside the grave is pushing out this person. So you find you are fighting with people, or sometimes somebody would just break up with you, or sometimes you just ghost each other. And next time I don't know, Mutwaga, I love you. Me too. I know what happened. I don't know. And you will realize that it's a pattern of your relationships. Then we know that there was a spirit that still resides in you that has not settled. And therefore you need to get cleansed. But most importantly, you need to detach the spirit. Right? You need to get the soul to rest. That's what a detachment process is. There will be other things that happen. Finances don't last. Jobs don't last. People find you argumentative, or they just want to argue with you. So you're always finding yourself in some detail, in some broil of something. You are always in the center of issues and you do not know why. Sometimes you can go out and you find a healer, and a healer says we need to cleanse you because there's a dark aura. But unless you can pinpoint where the dark aura is coming from, I mean, the dark aura can be any other thing. It could be straight, it could be that the death of a parent, it could be the past relationship that you did not cleanse for. So it's a very big umbrella of you have a dark cloud. But until we can pinpoint to say this thing has happened and we need to really spiritually cleanse you for this particular little embryo that was there and is no longer there, right? So the other thing that will happen, especially in women, is that you've had a miscarriage, you've had an abortion, and you're trying to have more kids. Now you are ready, everything is allowing, and you are good, and you're in a good space, and you want to have this baby. But every time you try to conceive, the baby will pass on, either by miscarriage, or you would sometimes give birth to a live baby and the baby would pass on. This is as a result of that little spirit, that little soul. Whenever it picks up in the spirit that there is another fetus, there's my little brother in there, there's my little sister in there, because now they can see each other from a spiritual realm. Remember, a soul gets manifested first, gets deposited first in the womb, so it becomes a spiritual thing before it becomes a physical baby. So the baby, the soul of the departed baby will then look at this one and say, come my little sister, come my little brother, because they are siblings, because they come from the same point, they come from the same womb. The other one will trickle along, oh yeah, my brother is calling me, my sister is calling me. The next thing, that little fetus falls into a ditch, to a spiritual ditch, all to find out that my brother was calling me to death. And that is certain reasons why many people would have a reoccurrence of miscarriages if they had previously had an abortion or they had previously had a miscarriage. This is reality. Bana ba Modimo le badimo ne. It is not a judgment issue. It is not a judgment issue. It's a reality. So we normally say people must do a detachment process. How do you detach? You are a man, you are a woman. How do you detach from that process? You find a healer, obviously, who can sense the energy, the masculine or the feminine energy. Sometimes you find there were twins that were in the womb. So you would find a healer to give you the sense of, I'm sensing a boy or I'm seeing a girl. I see that these children are with you. So they will be able to determine the gender of the baby. Now you get these things. You get a white candle, you get a pink candle. I had them somewhere here, so I don't know where they are. You find a white candle, you find a pink candle. You also buy a gender specific item of a child. The smaller the better, whether it's socks or a little bib or perhaps just a little outfit of a newborn baby, right? And you then get to have a piece of paper where you will name the child a very gender specific name. What I mean by that is that if I'm in Tabiseng, you already know that I'm female. If I am a Kavelo or Tabiso, you're already getting the understanding that this is a male person. If you're a Brian or you are, don't give unisex names, give very gender specific names. You would name the child and put your surname and put the surname of the partner or partners that you had previously conceived with, right? And then you speak to Nana. You will address a baby, whether it was an abortion or a miscarriage. Remember, it does not matter which one it is. What matters is that the soul got abruptly taken out of a womb. What matters is that you perhaps have invested in the demise of the child. What matters is that perhaps the both of you, as partners, you have lost the baby due to other external circumstances. And then you have a very frank discussion with this child that you have named. You call them by name, or the children, if you were told that they were twins, you call them by name and you say, Bona, find a name. I don't want to mention people's names because the next thing people are, that media mentioned my name. Yo, I'm going to die. You'll be surprised what we get asked here. Then you say to them, Nana, I am your dad. I am David Mangmang. And your mother and I, Mokhadi Mangmang, decided that we were not ready. The finances were not good, or we were not in a solid partnership. Therefore, my child, go and rest with my people, my ancestors, the good ones of this surname and that surname. And wherever you are, I need you to be a very good angel and bring prosperity. And I want, either you are separated or you are still together, I need for you to still be a good angel. And if you have other, live children, be a good angel to us and your siblings. Now remember, some people would then have your backstreet abortions, and we do not know what happens to these fetuses. There are stories that these fetuses are used in a negative sense, and a fetus is much more powerful because it composes a very raw ingredients of your DNA. So anything can happen. Somebody can find your fetus, they already have your entire spiritual identity. So some of these fetuses that just end up everywhere, hospitals, in the dumpster, wherever, they get to be reactivated. It's a spiritual phenomenon. So it's not one of those pinky kind of gruesome stories. It's a real thing. It happens. It's the same thing as somebody really just having your blood and go using your blood for something else. For both males and females, somebody can do irreparable damage when they have a fetus that you have conceived, right? So these fetuses that we do not know what happens to them, that we have not laid properly, can be used by people of negative intentions, can be used by people that are wishing you ill. And they will go a long way. They will go such a long way with your DNA. So it's almost like they have a replica of you, a twin of you elsewhere. So these are the reasons why we need to ask them to be good angels, just in case they are being used against the parents for malicious reasons. So we understand, right? Cleansing is not enough. A detachment process is also necessary. Sometimes people just get stuck in business, or sometimes you just find yourself not having the things that you want coming quickly. You are forever zigzagging in the spirit. You want to go there, you go there, you go there, and when we trace it back, we find, okay, there has been either a miscarriage or an abortion. I'm trying to consciously speak to you as men so that you think about it. You think about the ramification of chelete and say, I don't want this baby, go and abort. No judgment. But remember the ramifications. The The thing about my partner has had a miscarriage, oh baby, we are sorry, and it does not end there. There is serious spiritual connotations to it and serious aftermaths. Thank you for coming to the channel. Please subscribe, please like, please comment, please diss if you do not agree, please ask if you do not understand. Ne? May the Spirit of the Lord be with you. May Badimo Balena be with you. And may you go forth and be in proper alignment with your ancestors and just understand your purpose. Other than that, I wish you nothing else but for you to prosper. I'm Tabby. Thank you for coming through. It doesn't want to switch off.